Fight, fight, fight!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to No Filter Gen Z. We are young Americans fighting to defend the truth, and we just got a huge news breaking story that we had to come on here and actually move a few episodes around because this is such a big deal. Elon Musk and Donald Trump are now in a weird feud, and it seems, I don't know, it seems weird to me, but I just want to hear your guys' opinions before I give mine. For the people that don't know, basically Elon Musk has come out and said a bunch of things about Trump. Trump has said some things, and they're going back and forth. A lot of it was starting with this big, beautiful bill that Elon Musk didn't like the spending of, and Trump saying that this is stuff that people voted for, and they're going back and forth. But Lydia, Elijah, welcome to the show. I want to start with your guys' opinions, and then we'll go from there.
I mean, I want to first off say I hate that it's all on social media is how this is happening. But again, that's how everything happens nowadays, so it's not a surprise. I mean, it can be entertaining for us to an extent, but it's also like, our political leaders, not that Elon Musk is primarily a political leader because he's not, obviously, because he left Doge. But just the fact that those that are leading our country are doing this on the internet, almost in like a childlike way. It's
Yeah.
kind of like it's kind of disappointing that way, but it's also like to be expected. I mean, I think Elon, a lot of it is probably out of bitterness of the bill. I do believe that still. And I hear a lot of people talk about how he really is like this really does go to show his true libertarian side because he hates spending, period. Regardless if it's good or bad, he just thinks that any type of spending that's happening in this country is negative. And so I think that's where a lot of that stems from. And that's why he was dogging on it so much. And that's why I think this kind of whole thing started. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it went quickly too because it's just you're right about the fact that it's all on the internet now. So this could have happened with so many people in the past. We just wouldn't have seen every single detail all the time like we do now. But how do we go, Elijah, from this to this in like 24 hours? What's going on?
Well, I think it's part of because also now Trump's, taking away some of his money that he was going to be getting. So he's a little bitter about that, even though he's the one who was saying that if he lost everything, he wouldn't really care super much, like all that much. So I'm kind of confused on how that works. But I think also I feel like he was kind of playing a little bit like kissing Trump's boots or whatever you would call it, just kind of trying to stay up there, keep in power. Um, and now that, money's being taken away and things aren't going his way, Trump's not really listening to him for certain aspects of what he wants to do. All of a sudden he feels threatened and upset, and how dare you not run this by me, even though you're not the president.
Mm, yeah. And he says that, or Trump claimed that Elon Musk kind of saw the whole bill, and then Elon Musk came out and said, I never even got to see it. So they're going back and forth. But here's what I think. My first thought, I have a few different things I want to say, but my first thought is that a lot of it could have to do with Elon Musk wanted to get close to Trump like this so that he could get these contracts for SpaceX. Of course, he's a businessman too. They're both billionaire, smart businessmen. You don't get there without some talent and some kind of brain that gets you in this position. But also, they both have huge egos, both of them. Trump, if Elon Musk says something to Trump, Trump's not just gonna sit back. He's the kind of guy that takes it and throws a punch back, kind of thing. And Elon Musk has to be the same way. He's a businessman and at the very top. And so even with Doge, he did great things. But when it comes to like bills and things that Trump wanted to get done in the first place, Elon Musk is not going to agree with everything. And that's just a fact. But I do think we're stronger together, and we have to kind of hope for the best with them, because if they're divided, it kind of just puts a bad light. And some of the things that Elon Musk is tweeting, I just don't think that they're warranted. Even when they disagree, he's kind of making it bigger than it should be. And that leads me to believe, or maybe suspect, do you guys think that this is somehow a bigger plan that we just don't know about? Are they doing this on purpose? Is there something like just the things that Elon Musk are saying are so just so big to me that I feel like maybe the especially let me show you guys one thing. Maybe with you guys saw the thing about the Epstein list, I'm sure, right? So
Yeah.
that was the biggest thing that we're all looking at. But maybe Elon Musk says, the time to drop the really big bomb, Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. This is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, Donald J. Trump. Mark this post for the future because the truth will come out. Now, why the heck would he let his son be around Trump all the time, almost like a grandpa to him, if he knew about this? Because I think in the past we knew that Doge kind of had some of these documents or access to some of it. So if he knew about this, why the heck would he let his son around him all the time? And what I first thought about the Epstein stuff is I think Trump is in them. I think he's actually, we know that for a fact. And earlier, I don't know if it was this year or last year, they actually came out, the Trump team, and said, yeah, he was in these flight logs. We're not using this as a defense to clear his name of anything because he hasn't done anything wrong. He was in some records, and that's it. He was never doing things that some of these celebrities have done that make the Epstein files so big. But anyways, that's my thought. Maybe they're using this to get that released. Maybe Elon Musk is using that as leverage to get the Democrats and the left to say, all right, we need to release that to get Donald Trump's name so we can impeach him and get him out of office. Only then to reveal some stuff about other people. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I mean,
That was
I
a
would
lot.
yeah, no, but I would definitely say, I remember when those, the Epstein files, when that was like teased. I remember Pam Bondi teased it a ton. And I remember I was actually really frustrated because I was like, listen, I'm like, you teased this like you're going to release it the next day. And then I knew it wasn't going to happen. And it
That
never
was
happened.
pretty weird.
I didn't appreciate that as much as I, love Trump's team and administration. I was not a fan of the way that she handled that. If anything, she could have been a little more quiet about it or just not prematurely said anything to get people excited or not excited, but,
Just not
anticipating,
to.
anticipating the release sort of thing. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you also with his child, Elon's child, having him around him because that's probably a big indicator. Because if you care about your child enough, you would not be having him around someone that was on Epstein's island.
And if he
per se,
knew
doing-
about it, then why would he do that,
Yeah,
I just don't know.
exactly. No, it doesn't make sense. And
Seems fishy.
honestly, it does seem fishy. And I feel like also what you were talking about, how this could be kind of like preparing for something more, so to speak, like that we don't really know about right now. Yeah, honestly, I definitely wouldn't knock that theory. I definitely think
There's
that
things
could
that have
be
happened
possible.
before that I ended up being like, whoa, like they had
Yes.
this plan this whole time. So I'm not like ruling it out. It doesn't
Yeah.
seem like that's happening right now, but there's a chance something like that's going on.
Yeah, it just got so intense so quickly.
Yeah.
And yeah, I feel like that's just it just feels very like inorganic, like it just doesn't feel natural. None of this is natural. But American politics it's not. But
Right.
but just in this specific scenario, it's just very odd, just the timing and everything. I don't know.
Yeah. Elijah, what about you?
I'm not too sure whether I don't personally think it's like an act or anything like that. I think he's just having a temper tantrum because he's not used to things not going his way when he thinks they're supposed to. Um, I mean, I think he's a great guy. I think they're both great people. Um, but I don't see it being a fake. Like it just seems a little too serious. Like he literally left Doge. I mean, I don't know whether he's planning on rejoining or what the heck the process is for that. But I don't see it. But I think whatever happens is God's will, so we'll see.
Yeah, some different people from the Trump administration were talking about there was some tension with Elon Musk like the last few weeks and even like months that he was in there. So there's stuff we don't know. That's the other thing. There's probably a lot of
Yeah.
stuff. Maybe there was something big that happened with Trump and Elon, a conversation or something that we just have no clue about. There's things like that and really we shouldn't We shouldn't know a lot of this stuff that's going on, but maybe that's one of the reasons.
Yeah, I mean, I also think it's worth pointing out. I think it's probably a huge publicity thing, but when
Yeah.
Trump, right before Elon left, that he gave him the key to the White House,
Mm.
and this big show of that. And I think you're right. I think a lot of it, yeah, we shouldn't know because we're not meant to know, kind of thing. Not that they're necessarily covering up per se, but they're trying to. I think Trump honestly was trying to keep the peace for as long as he could until he was ushered out. And then I think that's when Elon like blew up because he's like, everyone's acted like this is fine, and the American people don't actually know what's going on, quote unquote, kind of thing. I don't know, but
Yeah, and I saw someone post something. I'm just going to read what they say about the one theory. We don't know if it's true, but here's just something that someone said. They said, pay attention because the media and the public just got played on a level few will ever see coming. This is, those crazy conspiracies that sometimes turn out to be true, sometimes they don't. Elon and Trump stage a massive public feud. Insults fly, headlines explode, the media latches on. Then, just when the illusion is thickest, Elon drops the Epstein bombshell. Trump's name surfaces, and suddenly the whole narrative flips. The media buzz shifts from petty drama to the dark truth about the Epstein stuff. Right on cue, Kash Patel steps in to deliver the Epstein files, and then we don't know who else is in there. That's the thing that people are speculating. It's like, is that to get the attention on it so that they release them to show other Democrats on there? That's the thing. But why would they not release them sooner though? Is my question. If that was true, my biggest thing is why aren't they releasing them?
yeah, that's a huge thing. Yeah, don't know.
I mean, Trump said he was going to release him. That was one of his things that he was talking about. So I don't know what the big what are they waiting for? Maybe there's something legally that they can't do yet, but I don't know.
And
Uh,
Trump, I'm
yeah,
sure, already knew that he was already mentioned,
yeah,
in some way, shape, or form on there. So for him to publicly announce that like it was going to be released, clearly he knows the truth and he's not
mm-hmm,
afraid to show it, especially about himself. So I don't know.
yeah. Here's more about the bill. This is what Trump said after this stuff started happening. He says, "I don't mind Elon turning against me, but he should have done so months ago." Which that's there we go. Something maybe happened before. We don't know. This is one of the greatest bills ever presented to Congress. It's a record cut in expenses. We'll talk about it in a second. $1.6 trillion and the biggest tax cut ever given. If this bill doesn't pass, there will be a 68% tax increase and things far worse than that. I didn't create this mess. I'm just here to fix it, which I love that line by Trump. That's kind of what we voted for him to do, to fix the mess we're in. This puts our country on a path of greatness. Make America great again. So let's talk about the bill, guys. What do you think, first of all, about this statement, but also about the bill that they're arguing about in the first place?
I think that there's some aspects of the bill that are great, but I also think there's some that are things that we didn't necessarily vote for, things that are definitely in his better interest as opposed to us. But overall, like I didn't really get to see like a whole lot of the bill, but from what I did see, for the most part, it's a pretty good bill. Um, but yeah, that's my thoughts.
What parts do you not like?
So there was like this cut that I saw for it was like I don't even remember what it was. I'll have to look back at it, but it was like a tax cut for the rich, and then the poor ended up, not the poor, but like the middle class didn't get the same cut or something like that. It
Mm.
was some weird part. Because like I'm just about like equality, like just make it equal.
What about you, Lydia?
Yeah. I mean, I do like the big headlines that he was constantly showing with the bill, like no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, like all of that kind of stuff, which does directly help the American people, your average American citizens. So I do appreciate that. Again, I think a lot of this is the long ball for him. I mean, I don't knock the idea that a lot of this might, not a lot of this, but some of this might be for his gain. But I think a lot of it, and he does play the long ball, like we've seen that in the past. We've seen that for his entire campaign before even becoming president in second term. So I feel like with these types of things, when he does say to trust us and, call our representatives and senators and things like that, like he does mean it because he knows that this can seriously benefit all of us in the end. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, let's not forget he gave up his $400,000 salary to disabled veterans. So we know he's here to make America great again, like he's saying. And Elon Musk too. His businesses have suffered because of his involvement. So both of them, like before anything, if anything else happens bigger, I want to say like I'm grateful for both of them because I actually don't know if Trump would have won without Elon Musk. I think he
Yeah.
was a huge piece to the campaign trail, especially when he first, announced he was gonna go on that rally and came on stage and stuff. The first time, it was like everyone was like, "Whoa, we got Elon Musk! This is big." It was like bringing in the libertarians and stuff. So I'm appreciative of both, but with this bill, tax cuts are something Trump ran on that a lot of people were banking on him to pass. Like that's one of the things I wanted, and then the border, of course, stuff that needs the funding. It's kind of hard to do this stuff. I think Trump is trying to get as much as he can before we lose the House and the Senate, honestly, because I don't know about the next year's election, 2026. I don't know if we're going to keep the House or the Senate. That's the thing. And so if we don't, maybe they're trying to do as much as they can right now, and that involves more money, which Elon Musk doesn't like because, there goes the debt just increasing and increasing. But Trump said he was going to do some of this stuff in the missile defense shield, American energy, stuff that the defense budget needs to do these things. So I agree with all of the stuff in the bill. It's just the spending because we were already in a place with so much debt that now it looks even worse because there's more. And so I don't know if you can blame anybody because you need to do these things. You're already in a bad situation. Trump thinks the best way is to add a little bit more to get through it, and that's how they'll bring it back. And then Elon Musk doesn't like that. Something funny that happened was Trump said first Elon Musk got mad about the spending, and then Trump just says, "Oh, we'll cut the contracts that Elon Musk and SpaceX have with the government," which I thought was kind of funny. Trump's just like that. He does stuff like that all the time. But
That is funny. No, and again, it does show what happens when you take to social media to start attacking each other.
yeah,
But again, the idea that you were saying of the publicity stunt, so to speak, and are they doing this, is this fake? Is this real? Or is, Elon actually upset and then Trump's trying to defend himself? But yeah, I also agree with the idea that I wouldn't blame our representatives, in Congress at all for trying to do as much as they can as far as, well, again, this is Trump's bill, but as far as passing it and things like that. Yeah, and that's the spending. And I like that you mentioned the border thing as well, because for it to be finished, there has to be an insane amount of money that is put towards that. And like, that's really like where you kind of have to weigh, like, do you want full border security, especially before the next general election? Like,
yeah.
we don't know.
Do you want to
thing.
risk that? Is the thing. Like, do you want to risk going into 2026 without knowing if we're going to have the House or the Senate to pass these things that we know the Democrats are so against all the things that would make Trump look good? It doesn't matter if it's good for America,
And it's easier to undo things when they're not entirely finished. So, because you remember with the first time, after Trump was out of office, and then it was like they stopped. They just stopped with the border wall. And so it's like, yeah, but I agree with you.
And that's where, that's where I kind of agree with the bill. Is this is our chance right now to do these things while Trump has the ability to with the House and the Senate. So that's where Republicans are disagreeing even. And this is the thing that we see so many times. Democrats are always so united in voting and all these things. Republicans just can't get on the same page. It's weird. Our party is like never all together. And sometimes that might be because of critical thinking, because a lot of Democrats don't necessarily do that. It's like a group thing kind of thing. Yeah. So I guess that could be a part of it, but I wish we could have a little bit more unity to get some things done, because we did vote for Trump to do these things. He's trying to do them. He just needs the money to do it. So that's where the spending is the main thing people talk about. But I mean, where do we go from here? Do you guys want to see this bill get passed or not?
I definitely do. I think it'd be a very great aspect to add into the American dream, the American ideal. Like, no tax on tips. No, I mean, here in Florida, I know like what was it? Property tax, I'm pretty sure is going to be taken out or eliminated pretty soon, which is pretty cool. Um, I think all these like cuts on taxes and focusing where that money was coming from and putting it on some of these bigger corporations or whatever it may be, I think that's a great idea. It, it really is a American people first thing to do, and let's just see where it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely 100% want this to be passed because I don't know when else we're going to have the opportunity for all of these things to be passed at once. Again,
Exactly.
the big
Exactly.
beautiful bill idea. I mean, that is what it is because it's all encompassing of so many different things that I just don't know when the next chance is that we're going to be seeing this happen. So I am absolutely looking for this to be passed
And
100%.
Trump is in the White House. Like, we got what we wanted. We need to make sure we take advantage of it and not take it for granted, because this is the chance to do the things to put America first again. And yes, it might involve more debt. And I think that sometimes it has to happen like that. I
Yeah.
wish I wish there was a way to do both at once, but there's not. Like, that's why Elon Musk doesn't like it. He doesn't like the spending, but you can't do what Trump said he was going to do. We know he delivers on his promises. You can't do that without more money. And Republicans and conservatives like smaller government. I understand that, but sometimes you got to pick and choose your battles, and this is the one that Trump just doesn't want to risk going into the next 3 years without the things he said he would do. I mean, no
I
tax
mean,
on tips, overtime, Social Security. These things we want these things for the American people, so it just takes more money.
yeah, and it's definitely probably going to get worse before it gets better that way. I
Yeah.
mean, we've seen that. Um, So, I mean,
I
that's
think
just
it's
kind
kind
of,
of funny how it's all on Trump again, though. This whole all the day, like no one could do anything about it before, but
yeah.
now it's all Trump's fault.
Because what are you going to do? Are you going to stay stagnant? And, we're going to say when we were voting for him, in November, oh, like, yeah, you're going to do all these wonderful things. And I think people forget that there actually is a cost. There's a
Yeah.
cost to everything. So
Yes.
it's like, it has to come out in some way, shape, or form. This stuff is not free.
Yeah.
None of it is
Exactly.
free.
Exactly. There's a cost. There has
Our
to be.
freedoms aren't free. Yeah.
Exactly.
So, exactly. So it's all cost.
Well, I bet you guys could have predicted one person's opinion. Someone, I mean, I definitely thought he would say this. JD Vance comes out. President Trump has done more than any person in my lifetime to earn the trust of the movement he leads, and I'm proud to stand beside him. What do you guys think? Do you guys like? I don't know. There's a different energy in JD Vance than there was with Mike Pence when Trump was in office. He's bolder, and he's more on Trump's team. I feel like Mike Pence sometimes wasn't always on his team with his issues, but they seem like an actual president, vice president this time around. So, what do you guys think about this statement?
I think he's just sounding more of like a man, to be honest with you, which is what we've needed in government. Um, an actual bold, unashamed man
Yeah,
to just be up there and be blunt. I mean, that's your role, to be stoic, to be the person in charge. I mean, that's what we need in leaders. That's what gets other countries respect. And when we don't have that, I mean, just look at what happened during the Biden era. China was making fun of us. I mean, come on now.
yeah. This bill too. It would be really funny if a Democrat was the president right now, because it would be all on the Republicans for not passing it in the House and the Senate. It would be like, oh, all Republicans voted against this. This is horrible. But it's the same thing.
It's
The
because
Dem-
Trump is
yes,
heading it up.
yes,
That's the issue. And I do appreciate that JD Vance is a loyalist, in that way. Obviously not if Trump was doing something extremely morally corrupt, which he's not, but if he was, then I would expect a different
yeah,
approach. But I'm so glad that he's actually defending him. And I just remember how Mike Pence I feel like slowly towards the end of Trump's first term, we kind of saw the shift. Not that it was ever like drastic where he's like, oh, I love Trump, into like, oh, I hate Trump. It was more of just like he was kind of complacent with a lot of things with Trump. But I really appreciate how JD Vance is so proactive, like in like every area that
yeah.
he's been in so
And
far.
and he
So,
he goes on. He does interviews. He talks to people, and he's
he's open.
he's open and he's on the same page every time. It's not like he's just saying something to say it. He actually has values, and he stands on them, which I like. I appreciate that.
So important.
All right. So, anything else, guys, about this Elon versus Trump before we wrap it up? Did we cover everything?
Yeah, I think we did. That was good. Good conversation.
Well, I have one more question. If you had to pick a side, who are you more in agreement? Like, who do you think is more right on this matchup? I guess again, when they're fighting, who's more right now?
Well, I'm not a libertarian. And also I like the bill, and Elon kind of feel like started this, so I'm definitely on Trump's side with this one. Elon was the one that kind of like set this whole thing off, so I would ultimately be on Trump's side, and I can understand why, if I was in Elon's position, why I would be upset. Sure, yeah, I can understand that, but I don't agree with him. So
Yeah.
yeah, all of that to say that I'm not on his side for that reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same boat, to be honest. I mean, I hate being like divisive and picking sides in a thing where both people did so much for us, but at the
Yeah.
same point, it's like, all right, you're acting a little childish here. Come on, let's grow.
Let's not forget that Elon Musk saved free speech in 2022 when he bought X, because before
Oh,
that,
yeah.
all social media was conservative censorship, like all the time. I experienced it a lot. So he's done so many things. Trump has done so many things. They're better together, I think. I think we need both of them on the same team
Yeah.
to keep fighting the real evil that's going on, the real things that we don't like. But I do side with Trump on this because I think he's actually doing what he is trying to put America first again. Like, the things in the bill are for Americans. He's not getting anything out of it. I think all the things are so he can get what he needs, the resources, in order to do what he said he would do. And that's what I voted for Trump for, because I knew he would do what he said. So I'm on his side. I understand Elon Musk's frustration with the spending, but there's a cost to everything, and I think this one is worth it. I think maybe in the future we can start to balance the budget, but this one is really important. If the tax cuts don't pass, it's like a 68% tax hike, and no one wants that. So I think we need to pass it. I mean, that's what I'm going for. Even though it does add some debt, let's figure it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, guys, thank you for joining this one. Let us know your thoughts about this whole thing in the comments and who you like more in this fight and their points of view. I don't even want to call it a fight because we got to unite them. We got to figure out. They got to get on the phone and figure it out. And we don't know what's going on now by the time this is going up on Sunday, because this is Friday we're filming, so we'll see what changes that quick. So thank you guys for coming. I know anything can happen, so we'll see. But thanks for coming. We'll update everyone if something does change, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.